Today we're going to be making the most delicious organic immunity boosting protein blueberry muffins with a streusel topping. They are gluten free and diabetic friendly. But before that, we have a birthday. Happy birthday to our Uncle Bobby. His birthday was on Sunday, April 30th. We would like to say happy birthday to you. We love you and we miss you, and you're the best uncle in the whole wide world. And we hope to see you soon. Happy birthday, Uncle! Welcome back to Cooking with Kayla D. I'm Kayla, and this is my husband, Randy. My disclaimer. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell for all the latest episodes as they release. And here are the ingredients for 1 dozen muffins, and this is the streusel topping. You need 2/3 cup of gluten-free flour, 1/3 cup of a sugar substitute, 1 teaspoon of lemon zest, 1 scoop of elderberry powder, and 4 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm going to be doing a half recipe, and the measurements will be in the description area for that. First, you're going to put your flour in, and then your sugar substitute. Then you'll want to add your lemon zest. And then we're going to add in our FlavCity Daily Defense Immunity Tea, the elderberry. There is no sugar added in this, and it is derived from real fruit. It is a dietary supplement. It's vegan, keto friendly, paleo friendly, non-GMO, and diabetic friendly. It has Oracio organic elderberries, organic blueberries. It also has zinc and your stevia leaf extract. Your total carbohydrates for this one serving is 6 grams, and since you're doing a whole dozen, that breaks down to about half a gram per muffin. Also less than a gram of sugar. You're also getting 6,100 milligrams of a blend of organic elderberry extract, and organic blueberry extract. So that's pretty awesome. So you go ahead and stick your scoop in. I will have links for this in the description area if you'd like to pick some up. And go ahead and add in your butter. And I did it that way so that the color from the elderberry tea didn't overpower our crumble topping. But if you want your crumble to be that purple color, blend your dry ingredients before adding your butter in, and then add your butter in. I just did it all separate because I didn't want it to be purely purple. I want it to have the regular crumble color as well as the elderberry popping through. You go ahead and get it to where it's crumbly like this. Once you have it combined and crumbly, you're going to set that aside, and then we'll start working on our batter. You'll need 2 cups of gluten-free flour, 1 scoop of FlavCity Vanilla Protein smoothie, 1 cup of sugar substitute, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt, 1 cup plus 1 tablespoon of milk of your choice, 2 eggs, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, 1/4 cup of oil, and 2 cups of fresh blueberries at room temperature. And they must be fresh, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, preheat your oven. Then you're going to go ahead and get a large mixing bowl and add in your milk, and then your eggs, and then you're going to add in your melted butter, and you're going to whisk those ingredients together until well blended. And as you can tell here, you're only seeing half of the recipes because I'm only doing a half dozen. I will have links in the description area for a full dozen and a half dozen recipe. After that's combined, then you're going to go ahead and add in your oil. And then you're going to go ahead and whisk that again and get those ingredients well combined. At the end, I'll go over all the ingredients I used for this recipe, so that if you want to use the same exact ingredients, you can. You can supplement the sugar and the flours for regular if you are not gluten-free or sugar-free. Now you'll add in your flour into a separate bowl. Make sure to sift it beforehand. Then you're going to add in your baking soda, your baking powder, and your salt. Next, we're going to do our FlavCity protein smoothie. I'm just going to go over this with you real quick. This is FlavCity's vanilla cream protein smoothie. I use it for baking as well. It's a non-GMO, gluten-free, and there's no artificial ingredients. Has 25 grams of protein, plus it is full of wonderful grass-fed collagen. It's also undenatured whey protein, organic pea protein, of course, like I said, the 100% grass-fed collagen, which is good for your hair, skin, and nails. Who doesn't want that? It's your stevia and monk fruit for sweetener, so there are no chemicals in here. And also some organic reishi and cordyceps. 1 scoop is a serving. You get 20 servings per bag. And we're going to be using a scoop for a full recipe and a half for not. Your total carbohydrates on this is 7 net carbs per scoop. So you break that down in your muffin recipe and you're basically getting hardly any carbs, which is pretty darn awesome. As well as you're getting 701 milligrams of calcium, 1 milligram of iron, and 205 milligrams of potassium. And best of yet, it is Bobby approved. And that's the most important part. It means it's chemical free and it's non-GMO. It is diabetic friendly. So that's pretty awesome. All the ingredients are first in class. So go ahead and add that to your mixture here. Then you want to add in your sugar substitute. And then go ahead and give that a whisk. You will not need to put any vanilla extract in this or vanilla essence because it is already in the protein powder from FlavCity. I will have a link in the description area where you can pick yourself up a bag, and no, we are not sponsored by them. Next, you'll want to go ahead and dump your dry ingredients into your wet ingredients, and then just mix that well. And as you get toward the end of it, start folding it. You don't want to mix too much, start folding. And now that all of the dry is folded in and combined with our wet ingredients, I'll show you the consistency here. That's exactly what you want. Next, you'll take your blueberries and put them into a bowl. I used frozen. The first time I made this, they turned out perfect because I used frozen. They deflated. So that is the reason why I said make sure to use fresh blueberries and make sure they are room temperature. You're going to coat them in your flour, and I'm using gluten-free flour, so I coated mine in my gluten-free flour. And once you have them coated, go ahead and add them into your batter. And when you do that, you're going to want to be gentle because you're using your fresh room temperature berries, and you'll want to fold them into your batter. The reason you put the flour on is so that they are evenly dispersed throughout your muffin as they are baking. My muffins still turned out pretty good, but they did deflate because my berries were frozen. And they will do the same thing if they are refrigerated. So make sure you set them out an hour or 2 before you're making this recipe to become room temperature. We are learning together as we go. After you have your batter folded all over your blueberries, you're going to take your muffin pan, and I'm using the parchment muffin liners. You're going to spray it down with some oil. I'm also, because I have crumble topping here, am putting a baking sheet underneath my muffin pan, and that's the oil I'm using. So then I will put my liners in. And with these muffins, I'm using an actual cupcake pan. I'm not using the big, large muffin pan because I just think it's too large. I can never finish a muffin, so cupcake size is perfect for us. You want to fill it all the way up to the top of the liners. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a scoop into each one, and then with the leftover batter, we'll just go back and we'll fill in the necessary area until we get it all the way flush to the top. The reason you do this is because you want it to have that beautiful cone shape on the top. So you want to make sure you do fill the cups all the way up. And that will give you your beautiful round top that you get when you're having a delicious muffin. There we go. And now we've got all the batter in. We can go ahead and set this aside and then work on our crumble topping. And this is where having another baking sheet underneath will help, because that's a lot of crumble, but we want it to be a lot because as it cooks it will spread out. So pile it on. I just go ahead and put a generous scoop or a little handful on top of each one. Once I have that done, then whatever's left, I just go back through and continue to top it off, trying to make sure that every little spot is covered with a crumble topping, because like I said, as they poof up and spread out over the edge, the crumble topping will start to spread apart, and so the whole thing won't be covered, but you want to make sure there is enough, so enough of the muffin is actually covered with the crumble topping. And it is beautiful doing it the way I did it, not mixing our dry ingredients in the crumble first, but keeping them separate, and then just mixing the butter straight in, because you can still see that nice creamy color mixed in with the elderberry color there. It's absolutely beautiful. And that's another thing I'm going to mention about Bobby's products. He doesn't use chemical dyes. He uses natural things to color everything. So this you're going to bake in your oven at 450 degrees for 10 minutes, and then you're going to reduce your heat to 350 and cook for an additional 10 minutes. Once your muffins are done, you're going to pull them out of the oven and just let them sit there. Do not touch them. I know you're going to want to. Don't do it. Let them sit for at least 2 hours to be safe. Once it has reached 2 hours, you can go ahead and remove them and set them aside. You see how mine collapsed? Yep, that's from using frozen blueberries. So do not use those. Remember, room temperature and fresh. But they absolutely turned out delicious. They're just not picture perfect. But that's okay. I'm not about being perfect here. I'm about sharing my experience with you so you can learn how to cook these delicious recipes too. But look at those. They were so fluffy and good, and those blueberries bursting in your mouth for days. Absolutely delicious. That crumble topping was to die for too. Plus you're getting a dose of really good immunity. So definitely use the FlavCity Smoothie Protein and his Elderberry Daily Immunity Tea for these muffins. I will have links in the description area for all of his products and websites. I use the Whole Earth for my sugar substitute. I use the 1-to-1 Dave's Red Meal Blue Bag for the gluten-free flour. I have my baking soda from Thrive Market. Ran out of the baking powder, so I've got this other brand, but it is organic, non-GMO. Picked it up at Walmart. Then I also have Chosen Foods avocado oil spray and oil that we used in our recipe, as well as the pink Himalayan sea salt that we picked up, and the Kirkland brand grass-fed butter, but you can also use Kerrygold. It's about the same thing, and that's a oat milk we used for our milk, as well as we used the pasture-raised organic eggs from Costco, and an organic certified lemon for our lemon zest. So there you go. There's those delicious muffins. And if you stay tuned to the end, you can see some beautiful photos from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Galatians chapter 2, verse 20.
And as promised, here are some beautiful photos of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We thank you for being here on Cooking with Kayla D. We will have links in the description area for all the products used, as well as socials for FlavCity, as well as the website for you to grab these ingredients so you can come and cook with us in the kitchen if you don't already have them. We say stay in that kitchen and keep on cooking. And until next time, goodbye. If you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, and share our channel. And you can check out some more delicious recipes by clicking the icon here on the right and subscribing by clicking the icon here on the left. We'll see you next time.